No! 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 Horror Pop Extravaganza.
What is up, all of you beautiful souls out there in the world? You know what time it is. The Horror Pop Extravaganza. And
Couldn't
it's a
ask for
special
anything better.
it is a special day. You're like, who is this person? And on the other screen, that's not Lil Duke Spooky. That's
No?
not Little Duke. That's somebody completely different. And I'm so excited today, man. Like this has been in the works for a little while. We've all been talking, trying to get things together. It's finally happening, and our goal was to grow the show in a way and get some more voices, different voices, not just me and Lil Duke Spooky. Because me and Lil Duke Spooky, it can just get silly. And I'm like, I want to hear from some different people, man. Like, what they think about horror movies, because it's such a big world. And I thought, what better way than to bring on, a female voice, which I'm very excited about. It's a unique perspective. I've always been intrigued by horror film female filmmakers. It's a unique voice, and it's unique. So I'm excited to get a unique perspective, and maybe just a different perspective. Who knows? Maybe we'll both be like, "This is just fucking weird, dude." I don't know. Fucking, who knows? So as always, I am Pops Ghostly. This is the Horror Pop Extravaganza, where the macabre does do a little bit of dancing with the mindful. And with me today is the wonderful, just radiant human being, Chelsea. She is a member of the Horror Pop family. Chelsea, welcome to your first episode of the Horror Pop Extravaganza. Yay!
Thanks, Pops. It's good to be here. I'm a little nervous, but
That's
I'm doing
okay.
it. I'm stepping outside my comfort zone. Like I'm facing the fear head on right now.
Oh,
So
beautiful. I love that. You know what? And that's what the podcast, a lot of what we talk about at the end during the pause for the living section, is kind of
yeah.
change. Change is always uncomfortable, whether it's doing this or the first time or whether it's anything. I remember my first couple podcasts. I go back and listen to them sometimes and I'm like, holy shit. And I'm not talking about this show. I'm talking about my first podcast. And it's like, yo, dude, this is crazy. But I'm so excited. So excited to have you here. We came with a weird movie for your first
Okay, when I put this movie on, because I had to subscribe to a channel to get it, and I put it on and I was like, is this like the movie? I was like, is this like what? I had to turn it off for a minute and just like check because I was like, what is happening right now?
Right.
I was like,
Because
this
we
is
do.
crazy.
But before we get there, before we get into that, I did want to ask you, just really quick, if you wouldn't mind giving all these beautiful souls out here a little insight into your introduction to horror. Like, I know your mom is into horror. Like, she is fucking. I really hope I get to meet her sometime soon and hang out because she just seems like such a cool cat. But was that
Mhm.
your, kind of introduction?
Oh
Was
yeah. Yeah, that's literally my mom. That's all she watches is horror movies. Like anytime I go over there now, she's got a horror movie playing on the screen. And that's how I grew up too, was just watching horror movies. I probably started like when I was way too young to watch them, and it just like that was my life.
Yes. And I'm
So,
so with you there. I'm so with you. My mom always had. I'll tell a really quick story and then we'll get going. But I couldn't have been because we moved to the house that she still lives in now when I was 8 years old, and this was in the old house. I do remember it, and we were all watching Friday the 13th, right? And all the kids, like we're little. I couldn't have been, 6 or something like that. And right as the credits roll, the fuck power goes out in the house. And it's just pitch black, right after Jason, like "Ah," with the eye or something like that. Power goes out, and my mom's like, it's okay, da 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 da. And as an adult, she's gone back and told me, she's like, I was certain we were all dying. She's like, I was so
yeah,
certain that there was a killer there and we were all about to get
she
murdered.
probably had so many regrets. She's like, oh my God, what am I doing? Why did I do this?
But we even have home movies of me and my little brother, probably 7 and 9. Somebody recording. What are you guys doing? Oh, just watching Jason, just hanging out, doing that. So that's cool. Good on you. Good on you, mom. That's amazing. We need to raise more horror children. It's
Yeah,
good for the soul.
yeah.
It's good for the soul.
She would be perfect to come on the podcast though, for real.
Dude, one day, if you're listening, Lisa,
And
let's make it happen.
She loves your greasy strangler.
Oh, dude. And listen though, I meant to tell her that we've never posted it on this episode. She's gonna find out right now on this episode if she hears it. That when I did those movie guys podcast, I interviewed Michael St. Michael's right after the movie came out. So the lead, Big Ronnie. And he was on the podcast. So I've got a really cool interview of me and him and my other guy talking and just chit-chatting about the movie and how it came to be and the fake dick and all this stuff. But
Yeah.
and you are with Little Duke Spooky though, right? You're not.
I really tried. Like I tried multiple times and I just couldn't. I couldn't. Like it was so cringe. My entire body was just like, oh, I can't do it. Like
Hootie
I
tootie,
just
disco
couldn't.
cutie, hootie tootie. It's
I don't. I think feel like I like maybe like 30 minutes in, and I was like, no, I couldn't do it.
now is it
But
all things like that, kind of like the gross and the visceral, the greasy, the gooey, the body stuff, like you just because I know that's Lil Duke Spooky. He doesn't like anything like that.
no, it was just. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that really. It was just like I don't know why. It just made my. It just made my entire being like I was like cringe. It was like the awkwardness of it, which I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't do it. I just from the
I
opening.
listen, I do understand. Yeah, see, but for me, it was from the opening scene when the dude's like, Porto? And he's like, what are you saying? And he's like,
I
my
know.
friend, I cannot understand you. Porto? Anyway.
Oh my god.
Okay, so today though, we are jumping back. Isn't it crazy to think 2016 was almost 10 years ago? That was almost a decade ago.
Yeah,
Wild.
no,
You're aging, what is it? Aging well? Isn't that what they say? Or aging gracefully.
aging gracefully.
Gracefully. There you go. We're going back to 2016. This is a movie that I saw right when it came out. I usually peruse iTunes or Apple TV now, whatever it's called, every Friday and look for the new shit. When I see something new horror-y, I usually just pick it up, and I ended up getting it. I got this one. I watched this one. I was like, fuck. Like and even watching it this time again, I was like, fuck, dude, this is a bombardment from so many directions.
Yeah.
But it has one of my favorite genre queens in it, man. Dee Wallace is
Mhm.
a horror gem. She's right up there in my heart with Lynn Shay and just these, ladies that did it way back in the day and shit when it wasn't cool to be in horror movies, and they just kind of crushed it across all these different things. But Red Christmas comes along. I'm a big fan of Black Christmas, 1974, Bob Clark. Love Black Christmas. The 2000, whatever, 3 or 6 remake has kind of grown on me. I thought this was just going to be, some kind of slashery Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night, something along those lines. So before we get in, let me do the IMDb real quick, and then we'll do it because
Okay.
this thing kicks off like a fucking it's madness.
Mhm.
So it is, directed and written by Craig Anderson. Lil Duke Spooky always says only a writer director can pursue a crazy vision like this, and actually make it work. And it stars like I said, the amazing Dee Wallace is one of the best ever. And then Sam Campbell played Cletus, who we will talk about who Cletus is. But I thought he really showed up for what he was expected to do. Jeff Morale played Joe, so he was the uncle character, the always smoking weed, wanting to be, I don't know, just kind of a shitbag, but not in
Yeah.
some ways. Um, you got Sarah Bishop played Susie, so I believe she was the sister that was married to the priest or gonna get married to the priest or the pastor. Gerard O'Dwyer played Jerry, so he was the little brother. Bjorn Stewart played Scott. He was one of the first ones to go, and then there's no other pictures for anybody else. So let's just see what IMDb thinks this thing is about. A mother must protect her family on Christmas Day from a demented stranger who is hell-bent on tearing them apart. What do you think?
There's a little more to
Dude,
it.
a little is an
I mean, like
understatement.
I said, when it first started, I was like, I had to pause it and like back out and be like, okay, am I in the right? What is happening right now?
Right.
Like the way it opens, just like,
Because we open up with what we soon learn is an abortion clinic, but it's being
Hmm.
exploded. And then we see a fucking scary image, and there's a bucket in the corner. We don't see much outside of there's chaos. We hear, I want to say when it first opens, we hear a narrative, both sides of the abortion argument kind of going on.
Yeah.
Like it has to happen, and we hear a lot of this stuff. And then we get to the clinic, it's chaos. We see this big explosion out the window, goes off everywhere. And we see this doctor type character look over into the corner, and there's this little bucket, and a fucking little hand comes out. Just gross little red fingers. And that's all we know. And then it kind of cuts us. And I could see where you're coming from. You're like, what is this? Is this a war movie? Is it a, because it starts off just chaos.
Yeah, it starts off, pro-life and abortion and, all the protest, So
Mm.
I was just like, okay, is this like an ad? It was like a weird channel I had to subscribe to get it. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. And then it just like rolled into it. I was
Yeah,
like, okay,
and
well,
and we get some title cards that are just like, hey, well, we see some really gnarly imagery at the beginning. Like, I think the guy's carrying him. We see this dude carrying some fucked up bale of rags, or, we know that on the inside it's like, but he's just like taking this thing. And then we cut to 20 or 30 years later. Boom. We are now at Dee Wallace's house, which she has all these Australian kids. And I was like, so maybe dad was Australian because all the kids, speak straight Australian. Everybody's getting together for Christmas. You have Dee Wallace as the matriarch of this family. We learned that her husband had recently passed from cancer. We see a for sale sign in the thing. This is gonna in the front yard. This is gonna be the last Christmas. This is gonna be it. The family starts to roll in. You've got pregnant sister who I don't know about this woman. Like I'm like she's just fucking taking shots and smoking joints. She's like it's
I
natural.
know. I know. It's like, what the hell? Like she's about to give birth.
Like really close to giving birth. Really
Yeah.
close to giving birth. And so her and her hubby are the rebellious type characters, they're kind of all over the place. And then you get the more uptight sister, and man, they dressed her uptight. Like she was just looked like a fucking pencil, like just couldn't fall over.
Mm.
But she comes in with her preacher husband who's super creepy. Why is this dude peeking on pregnant people having sex in the bathroom?
Yeah. He was a creep.
He
I
did
didn't, yeah.
he did that, and then he also, I think he was checking out the dude's butt, and she's like, "That's a nice ass, isn't it?" And he's like, "Oh, I wouldn't know." Something strange like that.
Yeah, he got caught by, what was the
Joe,
uncle's name?
Joe,
Joe, yeah.
yeah,
He got caught by him peeking.
right.
Um,
And Joe's just wandering around trying to get people like drunk, trying to get people high. He's like, "Come on,
He's just
Pat,
trying to have a good
Padre,
time.
have some eggnog. Yeah, let's do this." And then you have Jerry, the little brother who has Down syndrome, who really acts the hell out of this, especially when you get to the end of this movie. I'm like, damn, dude, like you showed up. But he is, I love that because I've known a lot of people with Downs over the course of my life. And I love that they show it in its kind of real context. It's not like this is all about this. I mean, it does, I guess, become a part later when we get some more of the exposition, but Jerry's super cool. He's got his Santa hat on. He's running around, hanging out with everybody. Let's have a great time.
Yeah.
We're gonna open presents. The two sisters are not nice to each other. Like, I mean, the pregnant lady jumps over the table. Don't ever jump over the table if you're 9 months pregnant.
No, I mean, she didn't care anyway. She was smoking and
She's like,
drinking
I'm gonna
and
beat you.
yeah.
Right, right, right. She was just like, fuck it, dude. Let's
And
get.
just her mindset, like the way she was just like so mad and just wanted to fight. I'm like, you guys are having Christmas right now. Like, what are you doing?
Because she was super upset that her mom was going to sell the house, and she starts really laying into her mom. She's like, "You would do that, da 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 da," and then we do get some explanation at some point that she had a miscarriage when dad was on chemo. We do get that comes out at some point. Meanwhile, we see this fucking Sith looking, just robed up, cloaked up, all the way down to the eyes figure walking through the woods. And he finds this dude who's just out in the outback sharpening his knife on a hand wheel. And he's like, "What are you doing, dummy? We got fuck, blah, blah, blah." And he's just like, "I gotta read the letter to my mom." And this dude's voice, man, I don't like it. It reminds me of
Creep
the
you out.
hunchback from Courage the Cowardly Dog. There was a great episode of Courage with this hunchback, and he's like, "Maybe," and it just reminded me of that. So this backwoods guy, and this kind of took me aback. I forgot all about this. He's like, "Dude, you're terrible. You need to get out of here, go wander off." And he's like, "You know what? It'd be better if I just took care of you right here." And he just starts pissing all over him.
I know. I was like, you're a disgusting human being. Like, oh my God. And he
And
just laid there.
right, he's just got peed on. It was just like, and now we shouldn't say he just laid there. He did end up getting up, and I don't know if we saw the kill, but we see dude's head on the grinding stone.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah, stuck on the thing, and then he goes back wandering off. He just has this package in his hand, this letter that says "mother" in child's writing all over it. And everyone he runs into, he's just like, "Are you my mother?" And they're like, "What, dude? This is weird." Which I don't know exactly how. Oh, because his dad supposedly told him, gave him the information, because his dad had just recently died. This doctor guy apparently was taking care of Cletus this whole time, which
Hmm.
is wild in and of itself, that you take like a bucket baby and you take it home.
Bucket baby.
I mean, the little hand comes out.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, bucket baby's a weird term. However, he's on this mission, and he does get to their house after they're going to open presents. We see the daughter screaming at the mother. She's like, "I can't believe you would sell this place. Dad wouldn't have wanted that. You're selling it to go on a European trip." And she's like, "I got to do something for myself. It was me and your dad's plan the whole time to do this." And the daughter's really a bitch about it. And the other daughter's kind of like, "Yo." And then there's the younger one who's kind of chill. She's very allergic to peanuts, though. We learned that quick. Like,
Yeah.
keep them
No peanuts.
well.
But they had a jar of peanuts.
Right. Knowing she was coming over. Knowing she was coming over. And they get in the fight. They open gifts, I think. No, they're about to open gifts. And that's when we hear the ring at the door.
Yep.
Everybody's arguing. D Wallace is like, "Well, I guess I'll go get it." And so she gets up, takes off to the front door, and here's this dude. Now, I want to know your thoughts, like the first time you like really get to see him kind of up close. Not the end scene, not when you really get to see him, but just this presentation of this creature.
I mean, I wouldn't have let him in my house. He's a
Right.
creep. Like he's just all black, shrouded. You can't see his face. He smells like pee.
Oh, the one
Like,
daughter does say that. She's like, "Why does he smell like
yeah.
pee?" Yes. Yeah.
Like, no. And his voice, there would be no way. I mean, I wouldn't let him in.
Now, it was Christmas, though. You know what I mean? And that's what's D Wallace's thing. She's like, "It's Christmas." And he does kind of talk, even though he's shrouded in piss covered.
Yeah, I wouldn't have got any points for that. There would be no good deed for me at that point.
Can I call you a cab? Can you please?
Yeah.
But she doesn't. She's like, "Yo, come on in." And she brings this dude in, and everybody's looking like, "Yo." And he's like, "I want to read my letter." And they're like, I don't know, dude. You smell like pee and you're hiding behind a humongous cloak. How about we just give you a jar of peanuts for a present?" Because she goes to the kitchen, like, "Oh, I got to go get some." But he is articulate. He knows some shit. He's like, "I'll have tea, please, with a
Yeah.
straw."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So he does know a little bit. She goes to the kitchen and wraps up a jar of peanuts and gives it to him. And he just loves the wrapping. He's like, "What's a present?" He doesn't even
Yeah.
know, which makes me wonder, like, this dad who supposedly cared about him or whatever, like, never gave him a gift or something, or maybe just kept him.
No, I feel like he didn't have a normal life. I mean, he was obviously shrouded his whole life with the black
Right.
cape thing on him. Like I don't think he had a normal life. He didn't have Christmas or birthdays. He just like kind of probably stayed in a room, you
Oh,
know?
I could see that because even Jerry's like, "You want me to take your cloak?" And he's like, "No, it holds my skin on."
Yeah, like okay.
Right? What? So she gives him this gift, and he insists, "I got to read my letter. I got to read my letter." So they let him start reading it, and we're not 100% sure why yet. But Dee Wallace panics, and she's like, "Who the fuck sent you here? Da da da. It's I don't go to church anymore because of stuff like this." And da 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 da. And
Yeah,
she's like, "Get out of my house, you." She thinks that a Christian, at one time, she tries to say that a Christian group got her phone number and a police record or something like that. And so they thought it was a prank, just somebody. I'm like, that's a pretty fucking elaborate prank to like smell like piss.
yeah. He mentioned the abortion clinic,
Right.
and
And
that's
that's
what
when
set her
she,
off.
yeah. He mentions a certain date and something like that. And yeah, he's like 30 years ago. And to be fair, throughout so much of this, it seems like all this thing wants is just to be cared about,
Yeah. He
which is
doesn't
it's
do well with rejection though.
no, no, he does very, very poorly with rejection because we do see they throw him out. Uncle Joe chucks him. Look like Carlton in the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Or not Carlton, but Jazzy Jeff. Flying out the window. He goes chucking out. He gets all sad. We see him in the woods, just like mama. Blah. Meanwhile, everybody's back at home eating. They decide some of us are gonna go smoke a little weed. Some of us are gonna hang out here. The sisters are gonna keep fighting about pie, whether it belongs on the counter or whether it belongs in the. I tell you what, I grew up very big family, and if my sisters were being like that, I'd be like, both y'all need to shut the fuck up. And I think a couple of them did say it, like even Joe or maybe the younger sister, and that's when she goes outside, I believe.
Yeah.
And this movie does not shy away from the effects. It does not shy away from the effects because she goes out and finds the jar of peanuts is on the ground, but with a Bible verse right next to it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, some kind of Bible page ripped out, and it's next to it. And she starts asphyxiating right there in the grass because she looks down and the peanuts are all there. And she's like,
Didn't they blow out at her or something? There was something
so
maybe.
maybe, yeah, maybe she unwrapped it and they flew at her or something like that.
Yeah, I
Either
don't
way,
remember.
the fact that he was able to lure out the one person with a peanut allergy is super impressive. And, you know what I mean? Anybody else would have found it, they'd have been like, what the fuck? That guy left the peanuts. Let's go. But she has this bad reaction and then gets split.
This was like the best kill. Like I was just like, that is like the sharpest knife ever because she literally was like split from like top to bottom, like
Easily. It just
like
fell
what?
apart. You're right. Just like fell apart right
Yeah.
down the center. And I'm like, how strong is Cletus? Because he had told him before they threw him out, he's like, my name's Cletus, being really strange. But this dude splits her straight down the middle.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dee Wallace and one of the daughter's husbands, the pregnant daughter's husband, are out on the porch doing some stuff. Somebody goes out looking for her. They're like, hey, where's what's her face at? And then they go find what's her face, and what's her face is two what's her faces now. she's
Just
and we get screaming, everything starts, get in the house, blah 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 blah. You go here, you go here. I think they leave. No, did they bring her body in? I don't remember if they brought her body in or if they leave her outside.
I feel like they tried,
Yeah,
but
they
I
might have.
don't know.
And now we have full blown panic mode. Um, Uncle Joe's ready to shoot people with the shotgun. He already told him, you do this, it's gonna happen. Jerry's being Jerry, trying to rally him people around. Pregnant. I can't. Maybe she was Susie. I don't remember if that was Susie or not. But she her and the baby and her husband, or everybody's kind of hiding away and they're tucked away a little bit. And then they start moving. We got to call the cops. We got to do this. We got to get out of here. And I don't think we saw his death. I think they just find him because the dude snuck in. Cletus sneaks in the house at some point and kills the pregnant woman's husband. And they're like,
Oh,
Scott's fucking dead. Ah. But I can't
yeah,
remember.
they're all scouting out so that Joe can go outside to the garage and get the gun. And
Right,
they're trying to call him, and his phone isn't downstairs. Like they left his
right,
phone downstairs, so like he obviously no one was getting any calls, and then Cletus just came out of nowhere and kills him.
right. And kills that dude. And then the pregnant lady, though, she's freaking out. Like, she won't let her dead husband go. They try and keep her out of the room. And she's just like, I need Scott.
I thought she was pretty good too. Like the
No, her
panic
acting was solid.
whole
Yeah.
scene. Yeah, it was just like everybody was real. It was just like kind of believable, you know? It was like a legit reaction to the
To
situation.
how it would happen.
Yeah.
And so we've got him and her now dead. The younger sister and the husband are both now dead. We have the plan to get the car. Like Joe at one point is like, I'm gonna go get the car. And he's like, or they're like, we'll watch out for you. We'll do this, that, and the other. And when Joe goes to get the car, and Joe was cool too. I thought he acted it well. He played that role really well.
Yeah.
And he as soon as he gets in the car, like the shit comes around his neck and fucking starts choking him out. Like I don't remember if it was just Duke Cletus's hands or if it was, but now he's dead, and then the car just like straight
Yeah.
into a tree.
I was sad about Joe's death.
Me
I
too.
was
I
like,
was like, not
no.
Joe.
Yeah.
And relatively quick here, our pregnant mom starts going into labor. Too much stress, too much everything. They're like, you got to calm down, you got to relax. And she's like, where's Scott? I need Scott here. And they're like, Scott's dead. Screams at him,
Mhm.
Scott's dead. The preacher man ends up with Cletus in the kitchen. And this is a really dramatic scene. When he's like, oh, dude, when he's like the preacher's on the ground. We saw him getting dragged through the house, and nobody can get a hold of him. And he's getting dragged through, and he gets dragged to the kitchen. He's trying to pull drawers out, which I thought was smart as he's going by. Like that's pretty
Yeah.
good, dude. See if you can find a knife. But oh, I guess before that though, this is where Dee Wallace admits to him that she had an abortion because
Hmm.
it's before, yeah. She admits to just the preacher and she's like, don't tell anyone, don't tell my family or anything, but I didn't have a miscarriage. I was at the abortion clinic when it got exploded. I think this thing might be my kid. And she's
Yeah.
like, I found out he had Down syndrome, so we decided not to keep the baby because dad was already in chemo.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't do it because we already had Jerry. And then the preacher man gets dragged around in the kitchen and he starts saying the Lord's Prayer, our Father who art in heaven, and then Cletus starts saying it with him. And he's like, thy kingdom come, or as I walk through it's one of the more common scripture. But
Yeah.
Cletus starts saying it with him, and he's like, oh, do you pray? And he's like, yeah, I pray. And then they sit down and start like praying together. But Jerry overhears him praying about the fact that Cletus was an abortion who had Down syndrome. And then Jerry gets all fucked up and he goes and finds his mom and he's like, do you not love me? Did you not want? And this shit was intense too. I'm like, dude, that's dramatic. That is
Yeah.
hyper dramatic. And this kid, he's got the shotgun and he's like, you didn't want me. Like, did you abort Cletus because he had Down syndrome? And she's like, yes. And he's like, you don't love me and shit. And I'm like, oh, like
I
this
know.
this woman is losing everything.
He was
Like,
pointing the shotgun at her. I was like, oh
right,
my God.
right. It was crazy. And then he goes downstairs after the preacher dies. Well, he tried to pray, but then he grabbed a knife and goes to stab him, and then he gets fucking choked out till his eyeballs, or maybe he wasn't choked. I don't
No,
know, but his eyeballs exploded with blood shooting
he
everywhere.
there was a blender on the counter,
That's okay.
and he put his head on the counter or on the blender, and then this I thought it was cool because you could kind of see his eyeballs like swirling
Filling
a
up
little
with
bit.
blood. Yeah.
Yeah, and then obviously when it like went to a different angle, you could see it was like a dummy, like you could tell it wasn't
Right.
real. But I thought the eyes was so cool.
So And who did he get with the bear trap? Because he put a
Uh,
bear trap on somebody's head. Oh, it was the sis. No, it wasn't the sister. He
was
stabbed
it
her
the
with an
cop?
umbrella. Yes, I think it was the cop. I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because the cop goes to and maybe somebody's walking out there, but then yeah, you just get bear trapped. Like, and that was gnarly too, man. It's spraying blood everywhere,
Yeah.
looking like a fountain. Yeah, don't be a cop in a horror movie. Your odds are so low unless it's
Yeah.
a story about a cop.
Yeah, it doesn't end well.
Because
It
it
never
never
ends well.
no, you might as well be a red shirt in Star Trek. Cops in horror movies are red shirts in Star Trek. You gonna die. You're just there to take bullets. You're there to
You're
take
gonna
knives. You're there to take bear claws or bear traps to the head. That's what you're there for. So, yes, our sheriff does show up because they did get a call out.
die.
They were
Mhm.
like, "Hey, we're here. People are dying. Get out here." Why they would only send one sheriff and they always only send one guy? I don't fully understand. You think you'd have a buddy with you, a partner, maybe. I'd be like, "Yo, they're saying there's dead people everywhere. Like, can I get a homie to ride with me?"
Right. And it
Yeah.
was a drive out there. They said they lived like in the middle of nowhere or something, right?
Yeah, all of our establishing shots were all of this big kind of ranch house looking out in a desolate nowhere land.
Yeah. So that didn't make any sense, but
And then she goes to get the gun, though. She's like, maybe the sheriff had a gun. She goes out, gets the gun, and starts communicating with Cletus. And he's like, why don't you love me? And kind of makes you feel bad. Like, I felt bad
yeah,
for this dude. I'm like, just fucking love him, bro. Like, I don't know.
he just wants love.
Right. He just wants love. And then she's like, "Oh, okay, I'm coming out now," and then shoots him 6 times. And he's got that Michael Myers power. You know what I mean?
The way she shot though, like I felt like she shot like above his head. Like I didn't think that the shots actually hit. And then I was also like, oh, well, maybe he is like Michael Myers and he just can't,
Right.
die. But
I mean, I feel like if you survive abortion, you have super strength.
yeah,
You
I mean,
came
you're
up
getting sucked out. So like,
right. You came out with superpowers. Yeah, and at some point though, she did read the Bible verse, and it's something about, you do this and the wicked get punished, but she got the necklace back, and it was a necklace that she said she had that
she,
day and lost.
yeah, she lost it the day at the abortion clinic.
Right.
Yeah. So he must have had it somehow.
Right. And that's what I think whoever saved him must have picked it up, whoever the doctor, whoever was in there. But why, like, again, like the no presence thing, I'm like, this doctor must have been brutal. I wonder if he was just studying him the whole time, like you said, keeping him in a room, just doing tests, like, hey. And then when he's about to die, he finally gives him this little note, like, go find your mom. It's her business now. And he sends him on
Yeah.
his way. And this dude could tell directions pretty good, though. He was just wandering through the woods till he showed up right at their door. There's Cletus. Like I said, this
Fuck
place
in
is
the
going
world.
nowhere, right? I
Yeah,
want to see that whole movie, just him getting there, meeting
Cletus's
butterflies,
journey.
right? Meeting little friends like rabbits, and he's frolicking and stuff. Like, I'm going to meet my mom. I'm going to meet
Yeah.
my mom.
Telling everybody on the way, like, are you my mom? Nope.
Right, right. And then he shows up, and she's like, "Get the fuck out." At this point, though, sister is in labor, and the only person up there with her is her sister that she doesn't want. And she's even like, "Don't touch me. Don't let the priest touch me. Nobody touches me." And they're like, "You had," and they do have that kind of coming together moment where she's like, "You have to let me do this for you. I'm the only person here. Scott's dead. You have to let me help you." So those two are upstairs. Mom's outside with anchors. I can't remember where she found the anchor. She went out to bust the lattice off because she saw him creeping up, like, I love you, mommy. And he's coming up the window. She goes out there to break the lattice. They plant cell phones all over that was it Preacher Man was supposed to call him. So this must have been before he died because he was up there ringing all the different phones. And then she sees him again in the yard and hits him with an anchor. And then he still doesn't die. They got people running around. Sister's trying to run back into the house to find Scott. At some point, she falls on the stairs, and Jerry's running all over with a shotgun, ready to shoot everybody. It's really intense and it's chaotic. but it's very well shot. I will say that rewatching this, I was like, man, you really, used the space you had effectively with the camera and the angles and stuff like that. She's upstairs. At one point, though, we think Dee Wallace is dead. He's like chaining her up and choking her out.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's
Yep.
like, why do you keep having your kid? He says something gnarly, like, why do you keep letting your kids die, or why do you keep wanting to kill me, or something like that? Like, why do you keep wanting to kill me? I don't understand, I
Hmm.
just want mama. Like, that's it.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm never gonna be your mama.
Right. She's like, and at one point she screams at him, she's like, I didn't fucking want you. And I was like, yo, dude, that's not what you say to the crazy walking abortion.
Right. But
You
at
just
that point, he's already killed half her family.
right. But
So,
not but
like,
Jerry was chill though. Jerry showed up to him, put the shotgun down. Cletus puts the axe down and Jerry gives him the Santa Claus hat. He's like, here, bro, a present. Jerry like kind of sees it. He's like, I could have been you.
yeah. And that's when, isn't that when he took off the black thing and like exposed himself
Dude,
to
and his
Jerry?
face looks like a mix between like if Jason Voorhees' face and Sloth from the Goonies, if their face had a baby, it's this face.
Hmm.
It's a nightmare.
He was like a,
Giant eyeball. I feel like there's a giant.
yeah.
Yeah, like a
Like I feel like his head was kind of like Stewie shaped maybe, and like, but it looked like an alien. I
right.
was like, what? Like,
Yeah, he really was too. You're right. It had because the big eye, I think, is what gave it that alien look. Whenever we see ETs, it's always big eyes on them somewhere. But
hmm,
and then Jerry kind of takes off, and now Dee Wallace, his mom, is looking for Jerry, and she's like running around the house, Jerry, blah, 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 or whispering, like, I love you so much. I would never, kind of trying to explain to him, I would never let anything happen to you. I'm so sorry. And then she turns a corner, pulls that trigger too quick.
oh God, this was terrible. This was absolutely terrible, and it was like heart wrenching. I'm like, oh my God, she kills Jerry.
She kills
She
Jerry.
shoots him, just blows him back.
Dude, he
I'm like, ugh,
flies. And she goes over there. We don't know at first. We only see the feet. And then she walks up and we realize that and she just starts. I'm surprised she didn't put the other slug right through her head at that point.
yeah, at that
She had
moment,
seen everybody around her dying. You know what I mean? Like all of her kids at this point are dead. Her brother's dead because Uncle Joe, I'm assuming, was her brother, but he's dead. You got two daughters dead, daughter's boyfriend dead, cop outside dead. You just murdered your own child who you were so intent on making sure he knew how much you loved him
yeah.
and you
Hmm.
smoke him, like you
It
said.
was devastating. I
It
was like,
was.
oh my God, he was like the light of the movie.
He
He
really
was
was.
just like so happy and just like so precious. And I
It
just was like,
really,
oh
I
my God.
know. And to see him go out like that, it's like, oh, but I think for her, for her character, like I said, I can't imagine she wouldn't have just like been like, fuck it, I'm done, dude. Like,
Hmm.
I can't take any more of this. But she doesn't. We carry on for she sees Cletus at some point. The sisters are upstairs doing the baby thing, and she sees Cletus and he's just like, Mom, like, why won't you love me? And she's like, I fucking hate you. Slow motion runs
Hmm.
across the table, jumps on him. The whole huge Christmas tree, 15, 20 foot tall Christmas tree comes crashing down. And now you have Mom and Cletus um, on the floor wrestling around. And I want to say, I can't remember exactly how these two, because she ends up taking him outside. She's trying to distract him from the fact that there's a baby upstairs. Because we do see the baby get born. Baby's
Yeah,
really, actually, and it was a good baby too. Like, I don't know if it was a dummy or if it was a CGI, but whatever they did, like the cries sounded very real.
yeah,
It was very real. So she is trying to get Cletus and she's out in the yard and she's like, "Hey!" And this is after she slammed him in the side with the anchor chain or the anchor, and he's still going back for the house. We think this is where we think she's dead because she shows up when he's making his way up to get the baby. we assumed that he choked her out on the road with the chain from the anchor while he's saying like, why don't you love me? And she's like, you know, it's a very touching mother-son moment. And the girls are up there. They do good. The baby's out. She gets the umbilical cord cut. The one sister goes running out to help mom, who's yelling in the yard, like, Cletus, come chase me. And then she sees her kid coming and she's like, no, no, don't do it. And he's got an umbrella and just spears her.
Oh, and you see the umbrella just open.
Right. Gnarly, man. He
Yeah.
spears her and then she does a few steps, like mom has to watch her die walking down the stairs as she continued to move
Poor
on.
mom.
Poor mom. Now, mom's lost almost everybody. Cletus is going into the house, and then she gets Cletus, but I don't fully understand, or maybe I just didn't catch something. Maybe you could help me out. The bunny thing, like, was the baby in the bunny? Were they hiding behind the bunny? Because the baby's mother
Oh,
died, right?
she did. Yeah,
I
I think she like there because there was a bunch of stuffing on the bed.
right.
Because there was a huge stuffed bunny, and I think she put them both inside of the bunny or
And then
something.
when he stabbed, it was just mom, because I feel like you
Yeah,
heard it like, oh.
yeah, and you could see blood coming out, and
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he
So,
cuts it all the way open though and takes the baby out.
mhm.
And he's holding the baby for a minute, and that's when Dee Wallace comes busting in with the thing still wrapped around like her neck, and then stabs him with the anchor and uses her own body as a counterweight
Yeah.
to kill him, and jumps out the window, essentially hanging herself with this chain that is
Mhm.
now going to rip through all of his organs. Her dead weight on the end of it is going to pull him apart. And he's dead. Everyone is dead except the
Except
baby.
the baby.
The
The
baby's there,
baby.
and we fade to black as we see the baby kind of kicking and crying, and cop lights woo, 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 showing up to investigate further because of one officer such and such just never reported back in. Whoever the
Yeah.
bear trap head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 2016's Red Christmas in a nutshell. We're probably going to be doing a few more Christmas episodes before the holiday hits. But that one that's a special one, and I don't I think it's streaming it, like maybe Tubi might have it that you can watch it for free, but I'm not 100% sure.
I couldn't find it anywhere. I had to go on Prime and then subscribe to like some indie something indie channel
You just
where
give
like you
us
get like a
cable back.
7-day free trial.
Give us cable back. Just put it all in
Yeah,
one place where we can just watch it
I
all.
know.
You know what I
Like
mean?
you have to go to every single app just to like find what you want.
Right. Find
I
out what
know.
that. Okay. So before we get into the rating of this, what are your general thoughts, overall impressions of Red Christmas 2016?
It kind of shocked me. Um, the whole storyline of being an aborted baby on search for his mother, like that is insane. Like whoever thought of that is just that's just a crazy idea.
You know what? And I feel like this is not the first one. I maybe I'm having a
Really?
fever dream, but I'm certain there's this movie I've seen from the late 80s, maybe early 90s, that was about like a fetus that got but thrown in the sewer and then it gets mutated. And I can't remember what it's called, but it was fucking wild. I do remember that.
Hmm.
It was a weird,
A
wild ride.
sewer fetus, a
Right.
sewer baby. um, yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've heard of this, and I've seen the movie, and I was just like, but I was pleasantly surprised. I actually did enjoy it. The kills were awesome. I mean, the straight down the middle kill with
Yeah.
the sharpest knife ever, like that was like the best one, I feel like.
It really was a good one. And the eyeballs, like you said, when you see like the blood and the capillaries and stuff
Oh
spinning
yes.
around in dude's head, that's super
Mhm.
just like
I
uncomfortable.
know. I was like, damn, okay.
Okay, so out of five Cletuses,
I thought you were gonna say 5 bucket babies.
Oh, dude, we got to do it out of 5 bucket babies, 100%. Thank you for that. You definitely earned your place here on the show for reminding me about that. Out of 5 bucket babies, how many do you give a Red Christmas?
I think I'm gonna go with 3.5 bucket babies
Three and a
for
half
Red
bucket
Christmas.
babies.
Yeah, I like I said, it surprised me. It's not something that I would normally watch. Uh, and I think it was pretty well shot. And the
It was.
kills were pretty cool. You know, it was a
Dee
good
Wallace
story.
was a gem, dude. Like we didn't really talk about it a ton, but she carries a lot of weight in this movie.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
does.
having to be with all these different people, all these different scenarios, going from good to crazy, and then dealing with all this stuff. Yeah. All right, 3.5. I like it. I'm going a 3 out of 5 bucket babies. So I have 3 whole babies. I don't have a little half baby in there.
Half babies.
Three, 3 out of 5. And only because I like it for all the same reasons that you did. My only issue I have with it as a whole is I feel like tonally, sometimes it's all over the place. Like I wasn't sure what the messaging was supposed to be. Like, what is, really going on here? What are we supposed to be? Is there something I'm supposed to be taking away, or is this just a weird creature feature? But with all the prominence, like you said, of like hearing the protests and both sides and hearing all this stuff of the pro life and pro-choice arguments, I thought there might have been a little bit more there, because at the end of the day, like you said, I think if I would probably give it the extra half a point if I could just take it as a full creature feature. Like, this is just a weird story, man. Like, and this aborted fetus came back. He just wants love, but nobody's gonna love him on Christmas. So I'm
Mhm.
going 3 out of 5. Cool.
I like it.
That was good. And I'm not sure. I know that Lil Duke Spooky and I have Oculus on deck for next for us, but I think we're going to do something Christmassy before that. I'm going to
Okay.
talk to him and figure out something. And I do want to mention, actually, no, because this episode will come out after Thanksgiving. I was going to say, if you haven't watched Blood Rage yet this holiday season, if you haven't seen Blood Rage, you should really watch that movie. You and your mom, you should definitely watch it together.
Blood Rage. Okay. Is it a
I,
Christmas movie?
no, it's a
Okay.
Thanksgiving horror flick, but
Oh.
it had a couple different names. It's wild, it's cheesy, but it's got so many like quotable lines, just like it's not cranberry sauce, definitely not cranberry sauce. And I'll leave you with that. So we'll probably pick out a Christmas themed movie to tackle for next week. So
Okay.
now, all right, we did it. Let's take a moment to pause for the living. I wish I had a little animation that was like a little cat that was like, pause for the living, pause for the
Aw,
living. Right.
I love it.
Um, so I was trying to think of something as I was driving, because I was in Port Huron this morning and then drove back up today after doing a tattoo all day, which was a super fun tattoo. Ton of fun and a great client. That's always the best when you got
It
good
looked
people in your
awesome.
ear. Oh, thanks, friend.
Yeah.
When I was driving, I was thinking about this movie, and I'm thinking about this movie, and I'm like, you know what? I think there's something here. And the ego, the ego, our egos, we all have them. You can't live like without an ego. But I think if you're not careful, so the response we saw from Dee Wallace, had she, like, imagine a world where she had accepted it right then and there and told everybody, like, this, I have no idea how this is possible. I didn't have a miscarriage, but her shame and her ego kept her from telling her family, especially I think because of Jerry. Now, she probably could have left out the part where she was like, we found out he had Down syndrome, then I got an abortion.
Right.
She didn't have to tell that part, but she, had she been like, you know what, this is a direct consequence of my actions. I have to own it in some way. And I feel too
Mhm.
often we don't do that. We carry our guilt and we carry our shame. You know what I mean? We carry stuff like that had been eating at her for 20 years, 30 years.
And
And we
there's so
do
much
that.
shame surrounding abortion too, you can't you don't want to tell people and nobody wants to talk about it because you never know if somebody's going to be like, hate you for it or want to challenge you about it and not want to hear it.
And that's where I think
So
the argument in the movie kind of fell flat a little bit. It's because um it's just what the fact that I guess that it seems like somebody asked a question like, what if an abortion could come back and talk to you and tell you, this, that, or the other?
mhm,
That's weird. However,
it is weird.
however, I think there is something just in her character's actions, because even after a couple of her children had died, she was like, make sure you don't tell them. They can't know that it was an abortion. They can't know. That pride or that shame or that guilt was stronger than everybody she loved dying.
Which is wild.
Right. When you think about it that way.
Yeah.
Now, we are not in situations where we're fighting abortions. I mean, like physical manifestations of, creatures. I'm not talking about, choices one way or the other. That is not what this show is about. But I like that as a character study. I'm like, if she had just taken it, and I think we can do that in our own lives, just take a moment and maybe look at some of those areas where we're holding on to shit for too long. It's been too long. You know what I mean? And just, you gotta oh, look at the kitty. Sorry, I got distracted by a kitty. But
Oh.
yes. But yeah, that was something that I just kind of took away from this one. And I was like, I think there's, the idea that our guilt or someone perceiving us a certain way can be more powerful than even like your people dying around you, and I think more of individuals who carry grudges for whole lives, sisters, brothers, who for 30 years will be pissed about some shit. And I know probably a lot of them get to their deathbed and are like, no, why did that was my people. Why did I
Yeah.
do that? And that's, my own family. That's a lot of people I've seen throughout the course of my life. So it's not as extreme as this, but I think it's something we can work on, all of us can work on a little bit. So do you have anything at all you want to add to, and you do have cats, so it really is pause for the living.
It really, yeah. And I had my white cat was on my lap like literally this whole time.
I'm
And he walked
talking about
across
that
my
over and
keyboard
over
at one
again.
point.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one he wants to go outside. So um, but yeah, I mean, having that kind of shame and that something like that is like kind of paralyzing, like you can't move away from it. It's your guilt is just huge all the time, so it's just like it puts a huge burden on your life.
And it can grow, I think with time, if
Oh
you
my
give
God,
time to
yeah.
fester, yeah, it can grow. Great insights, my friend. So what do you think? You want to come back sometime? You think you like hanging out at the Horror Pop Extravaganza?
Yeah, if
This
you'll
was
have
fun.
me.
Oh,
If
100%.
you'll
This was
have me
fun, man.
back.
You did awesome. You did awesome. I want to do it more regular, do it more often. And I can't wait to see what people think. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all those things that, I guess I'm supposed to ask you to do. And on top of that, do a random act of kindness, dude. If you can, do a random act of kindness. It says someone, it could be anyone. And it's even better if it's to yourself. You can be a little kind to yourself. That goes a long way. So for the Horror Pop Extravaganza, I've been Pops Ghostly,
And I am Chelsea Seawolf.
and we will talk to you next week.
Bye.
No! 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 Horror Pop Extravaganza.